off the...
In the last 6 months, 7 different kinds.
She gets an ear infection and we go through the course of the antibiotic and then it just comes right back.
The antibiotics do work, but chances are they'll become less effective. And that's because every time that Colby takes them, the infection may grow more resistant. In fact, up to 25% of ear infections may now be resistant to the antibiotics.
Here comes Colby. Hi.
Colby is taking antibiotics for a reason.
Good one.
But others like yourself may be taking them when they're not really needed, like when you catch a cold.
When the over-the-counter stuff doesn't work, then I'll go to the doctor for the antibiotics.
Usually when I go to the doctor, they give me something like penicillin or something like that.
Give me this antibiotic for it, and that knocked it out.
Antibiotics fight bacteria, but they have no effect against viruses like the common cold. The result, you still have the cold, but resistance builds up. And that means the antibiotic might not work later on when you really need it to battle an infection. And taken to the extreme, you could get the superbug, bacteria that build up resistance to all antibiotics. This is what we would call a superbug. The streaks on this laboratory dish are bacteria. The white discs are antibiotics. We see the bacteria growing all the way up to each disc, suggesting that this is a very resistant staph infection. These super-resistant superbugs are showing up more, and most often in a place you might not expect, the hospital. And that's because that's where you find patients who are using large amounts of antibiotics. But they've also been detected in bigger cities. We've noticed, for example, in New Orleans, Detroit, Los Angeles, and some other major metropolitan areas, this type of staph infection exists in the communities, not just in the hospital setting. Now, just today, I received a report from Dr. Tom Safranek at the State Health Department that in New York City, the third report of this very resistant staph infection has been reported in the United States now, and this actually probably led to the death of a patient. So it also occurred in a hospital. So this is a very concerning, very emerging process right now.
It really is scary. With more of these superbugs, how do you envision we battle them?
It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of research, number one. Secondly, we have to learn how to use what antibiotics are still available. And third, we're going to have to find other ways, either some types of vaccines or immune types of drugs that will help to battle these, Julian.
And you're saying use the antibiotics. This obviously is not a call to avoid all antibiotics.
No, antibiotics clearly have played a major role in maintaining and improving the health of American society and the world.
In